record. And then, we'll say something witty. And then I'll
something
go
witty.
There we go. And then I'm going to go
witty again.
Share screen with sound. And we'll do this. And I'll click share. And I'll hit our theme music.
Welcome to Everyone Racers,
a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture.
It doesn't matter what kind of limit champ or lucky track dog league you run.
SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate.
As long as you drive it hard and built it yourself.
Join us each week for tech discussions, tips,
tricks, as well as news and notes from the world of amateur endurance racing.
And whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or we're lucky enough, and Chrissy,
and I give you just the tip.
We're sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less.
Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
El Jefe is off this week because the boss deserves time off when the boss says he gets time off.
And I'm mental.
And we are Everyone Racers. Welcome to a Mercedes edition of our podcast. It's episode 291. And you say, oh, I've never heard of a 291E. That's an odd one, right? No, this is the C291 sports racer. Was developed in 1991 as the FIA created a new 3.5 liter formula class, and it was powered by the M291 3.5 liter flat 12, making 550 or 600 horsepower. That's pretty good. Despite that, it was not competitive, and it was Mercedes' last effort in sports car racing, and they decided to go to Formula One starting in 93. So, hey, if you're not competitive in your sports car racing either, then get your bingo card out. It's free. Yeah. So what y'all working on? I know what Chrissy's working on. I know what I'm working on. So I'm going to go to Mental and say, Mental, what are you
sounds like a great idea.
All right. Well, this past weekend, I didn't really do much of anything. Vicky and I just spent some time together. The Thursday prior was our 21st anniversary, right after. So the Thursday we recorded last week. So yeah, so we went out to dinner and did our normal anniversary thing. Then Saturday and Sunday, I had to work Saturday, which was just weird.
Really? That's a shame.
Yeah.
Something special, just project that you're on?
It was like a one-time other thing that they needed some backup. So yeah, by the time I got in there and did it, I made the joke that I spent more time taking the roof off my car than I did actually, to drive to work than I did actually at work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Monday was our monthly out here in Las Vegas. We have the Red Rock Motor Club, aka the Friends of Chef. And I went out there and hung out with that and posted a bunch of stuff on our Instagram story if you had an opportunity to see that. And then yesterday, I finally, after having it for the better part of 3 weeks, installed Apple CarPlay on the Miata. So now,
great! That's wonderful.
If you guys don't know, I have an ND Miata, and the early versions of that. In fact, most Mazdas prior to 2019 did not have Apple CarPlay. They have a plug-in, you can use Bluetooth, but after that, Mazda upgraded, and you can buy the module, take your entire dash apart, put the new module in, and then you have Apple CarPlay, and I feel pretty good because I
it's that easy because I was going to do this to my mom's car. She has the 2017 CX-5, and this would be good for her to have. So I didn't know, like, do you have to go to the dealer to have this done, like for a software thing, or okay?
Nope. Bought mine. As long as it's got the latest version of the software on there. I bought my module from Amazon for like $150 something and had it here the next day. Came with instructions. I watched a couple of YouTube videos, took my dash apart, ran the new system, made it all work. And I only had to put my heating and air conditioning controls on like 4 times because I kept forgetting the stuff that goes behind it. Got it all back together. Only had 3 screws left over, but nothing's rattling. So I'm feeling pretty good about the entire process.
Yeah, we're going to call that success.
That sounds like success.
Yeah.
I saved the screws because I know invariably something's going to start rattling and I'll have to take it all apart and find out where that screw went, but that's okay.
Yeah, that rattle, that is the sound of success.
Exactly. Totally going to do that. Good. Chris, Chrissy,
whatever. We were together since we had a show, basically.
I was off Thursday, or excuse me, Friday, which was great. So we took half a day and we kind of traveled the world, went to a scrapyard for a part for the Mazda, which I'm not really going to say here. And then we went to IKEA and bought a whole bunch of stuff for my room that I've transformed, and now it's fantastic. So yeah, so we went there, and then Chris's mom came over for the weekend. Nobody died, which is great. So she was here, and they went out Saturday. We did a lot of yard work and a lot of stuff around the house. And then we did a lot of packing for the upcoming race. So that's about it. Some other stuff thrown in there, but your weekend sounds blissful compared to what we did this weekend. So I'm a little jealous.
Yeah. Yeah. Since the last show, I did some more cart welding, and it's not quite done because some other things came up. Like we said, oh, well, we need to go get the Mazda. Okay. So we, did that, early afternoon on Saturday. We went to do that after doing some other things around the house in the morning. Got the, started the NSX up, pulled that right out. Got started the Mazda up, pulled that right out. No problems. Put everything back away. Got Scooty on the trailer. Chrissy gets in the Mazda to come home.
I'm all excited to drive it. We could have towed it, but I was like, no, let's drive it. I got my jacket. I'm like, I'm all ready.
Totally.
And that's why you put plates on your race car.
Right. And insurance too.
So I can drive it.
Yep. So as soon as she lets out the clutch, clang, and forward momentum ceases.
Clutch pedal still there.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot move.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we need to go home now and get the other trailer. So we have to go home. The MG is in the other trailer. So we have to, get the MG out, get our stuff out, make room in the garage for said MG, go back, get the Mazda. And this is where the winch, listeners, remember when I put that winch in the trailer back in the fall?
Wow. Yep. It went to good use.
It is so much better than having to push your janky broken cars into the trailer when you have a nice mounted wired winch. All I have to do, grab the little remote, push the button, right up into the trailer. Wonderful. So we come back. We're lamenting for a while, but I can't get it in the garage because my mom's car is blocking it, and we didn't have the keys. Saturday, so I did other things like some scooter maintenance. It needed new valve stems because the valve stems are on it. The rubber had degraded enough that you pushed on them, the air came out of the tires of Scooty, so had to do that. Also made a trailer hitch for Scooty for our fueling trailer. When I say made a trailer hitch, that means I drilled a hole in the license plate bracket where it stuck out under the license plate, and so we're going to try that because it's already there. You have
that picture though, because the whole thing with the trailer looked on it looks pretty dope.
Yeah, let's see. The license plate bracket is only attached to the bodywork, not to the frame of the scooter. There's not really a frame back there to speak of. So we're just going to try this and try to be good about not using too heavy a throttle or brake when we're doing it. But there you go. There's a Yamaha C3 scooter pulling a custom made fuel cart. And I did drive that up and down the street a bit, and it was fine. Front wheel. Shopping carts a little bit, but what are you gonna do? It's good enough.
As long as someone dies. Okay, keep going.
Wagon. I'm getting there.
Mazda.
So then Mazda, we pull that in. Well, pull it out of the trailer, and I say, well, let me just try it again. Like, who knows? Like, sometimes self-healing. No, I let the clutch out. I hear clank, 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 clank. I say, oh, okay, that's bad. And then we drive it.
We have to push it. We have to push it.
Push out of the trailer
to get it out and down.
We rolled it forward down the hill, and we still hear clank, 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 clank. So, oh, this is no good. Get it in the garage. Start figuring out. We're thinking we have to pull the trans. And by the way, the night before, I bought a clutch on Amazon that was going to be delivered the next day on Easter Sunday. Delivery
preemptive
for $250. I said, fine, I'll just buy that just in case. Hey, now I have a spare clutch because it was an axle. Right side outer CV joint.
So I got undid the panel or the under tray because we knew we were going to need to take that out. And I was looking, and I was like, there's still a lot of oil from previous oil spills from seeping from everywhere. And then I was like, this axle, there's definitely more grease there. That looks really bad, actually. Yes. Then we figured it out. That would be it. That was
the entire outer joint came apart. I poked at the boot, and some of the balls fell down onto the control arm, and then some other random pieces. So, yeah, that outer CV joint fragged.
So it came out.
Had one.
Have the new one, put it back in. An 8-hour job turned in, or 45-minute, 8-hour job turned into a 45-minute job. So that's great.
And my replacement axle is already on the way from Rock Auto. It'll be here Friday. But so hope that new axle doesn't break while we're at Pitt Race.
Yeah. Let's hope that.
You should order the replacement one and have it shipped to the Napa there near the track.
Near the track, just in case.
Don't pay for it. And if you need it,
Yep. One of those kind of things.
We won't need it.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
No, it's brand new. It should be okay. So anyway,
all
we are
of
now
that.
Plus now we're packed. Truck is packed, trailer's packed. Like it just needs coolers and clothes. That's it.
Yep.
Leave tomorrow.
Let's go.
All right.
Okay. It's this
It is news and notes time. Last winter, before his accident, actor Jeremy Renner, you know him as Hawkeye and the guy that defused all the bombs in the Hurt Locker, had accumulated over 200 decommissioned buses and fire engines and kept them in storage outside of Reno, Nevada. Now, suddenly, my minor car collection doesn't seem so bad. Exactly. Yes. Now available for viewing on Disney Plus is Rennervations. The twice Oscar-nominated star is building specialty vehicles for charity organizations around the world. Quote, he's tied in with a lot of charities, said Renner's friend and producer Rory Milliken. Quote, he's got a great networks with charities around the world. He started putting out feelers of what he wanted to work with organizations and looked at which ones helped kids that are legitimate, meaning the charities, of course, that he wanted to use his platform to help spotlight. That's how it started. So far, they've built a mobile music studio for underprivileged kids in Chicago, a rec center for kids in Reno, a water treatment center for people in India, a dance studio for a children's charity in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. And notably absent from this program is the personality drama and chair throwing that tends to go with so many of these build episodes. And a link to the Auto Week article from Mark Vaughn, as well as the trailer in our show notes. And recently, I just found this out today, it was on if you go to the Hooniverse podcast, Jeff Clucker got to interview Rory Milliken. So he's out there doing some cool stuff. Wow. Yeah.
I'm still hung up on the car hoarding and bus hoarding, but okay.
See, it's normal if Hawkeye does it. That's facts.
Sure. It's not normal that anybody does that. But anyway, poor Charles Leclerc. Not only can he not get a break, apparently he can't get a break. According to Road Track article by Chris Perkins, the Ferrari F1 driver has asked his fans to stop coming to his house. His address has been leaked and some of his fans keep showing up at his door. I might do that. Now he's been asking them, please stop, according to the New York Times. The 23-year-old Monaco native was quoted, for the past few months, my home address has been somehow become public, leading to people gathering beneath my apartment, ringing my bell, asking for pictures and autographs. While I'm always happy to be there for you and truly appreciate your support, please respect my privacy and refrain from coming to my house. Please. Poor he has enough problems. Don't just show up at his door.
Looking at you, Tom.
I would not show up at his door, but I would think about it.
Waiting outside like in a car for him to come out,
maybe, yeah. And then, moving on.
Mm-hmm. Back in my day, you stole a car with a screwdriver and you hot wired it. And I can tell you how to start a Civic without with like 2 tools in about 10 seconds if you don't have the key. Kids these days, they're doing it with the headlights. Chris Teague at the Truth About Cars, give us the latest thing to worry about. So by connecting to a Toyota RAV4 computer via a harness behind the headlights, thieves can utilize a CAN injector to convince the vehicle the smart key is close enough to activate the vehicle. The reporter was able to buy one of the devices needed for the process, which arrived built inside a JBL Bluetooth speaker. But the researchers outlining the process say they've contacted Toyota with suggestions. Haven't heard back. Wonderful.
Noted.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know how to steal a car. I wouldn't. Anyway.
I only know the ones that I really know. Like I said.
Yeah, your late 80s, early 90s Volkswagens, I'm in there. But yeah, anything else? No.
I just use a key. I don't steal cars.
Neither do I, but sometimes you need to start something. And
Sometimes you
lost the
need
keys.
mental does not know how to steal a snowflake.
Yeah. No, no.
No.
The process of stealing a car and taking your own car when you don't have a key looks remarkably similar sometimes.
It does,
Sure
especially when
does.
it's sitting in somebody else's driveway and
Running.
they don't know,
Running.
right? They don't know who this guy is.
Yep.
Hopefully listeners remember the story. Anyway.
Oh, well.
Oh,
But, so if you lost the keys to your car and you need a new one, you know where's a great place to look for it? racingjunk.com. There you
Just
go.
get a whole new car. Don't even
Yeah.
screw around.
Yep. So I decided that we're going to Pitt. I want to look for the most interesting thing I could find in any category that was within 25 miles of Wampum, PA. That's where the track is. So I did. And I found this. A 2007 Porsche 997.1 GT3 Cup car. And I assume mental is screen sharing. Yes, there it goes. So the ad states this is a T3 Cup from 2007, where in its first year, the chassis won the 24 hours of Zolder, whatever that is. Car has never been wrecked.
Sounds
Currently has a
cool.
3.6 in it with a sequential that has 60 hours on it. New Pirellis are mounted. Comes with one set of original BBSs. And I think this looks like a turnkey, reasonable price for what you're getting. I mean, the cage looks gorgeous. I mean, it was a cup car. It's got a fuel cell in the front.
$65K for any GT3. Yeah,
Right.
this
sequential
is friggin'
gearbox,
insane.
digital dash,
You're stealing it.
proper.
Don't steal
built-in-
it.
Right. The fuel cell in the front has a dry brake already on it. Like the workmanship looks lovely. It looks very clean. Like this seems like a great deal if you have the means.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a
Yeah.
good looking car. You could grab this and go run like one of the depending on your perspective, lesser or greater amateur endurance racing series.
Mental, can you click the next link and share that one as well?
Oh yes,
Chrissy also found something.
I
exciting
did
in
find
Racing
something.
Junk.
So I got my Racing Junk email today, which I always look forward to. And this is a CNC machine for doing your engine machining. And I want it for only the price of a small house. You can have your own CNC machine that will make you and fix you for tooling.
It's a complete engine block. This isn't like holy crap. This isn't like a small one, like, for
No,
like doing
this is
like
a-
head work or something.
Yeah.
You could make your own rims.
This is a Haas 4-axis CNC machine.
It's got
for
so
machining engine blocks.
so many buttons. It's in excellent condition. It comes with all kinds of stuff. It's a 4-axis. I just want to watch it, actually. Like, I just want to give it a piece of metal and be like, make me something, because that's what we do with CNC machines. I have them at my work and they are not this cool. So yeah, so I found this in Racing Junk. So at the very least, subscribe to the email, because it is a joy to get. It's so amazing that they have so many different things that they pull together in Racing Junk email. There's just so many different things. You're just like, there's a thing that people like with racing and they subscribe to this email. It's really cool. Like, it just get the email. Even if you just scroll through it quick, sometimes our ads on there, which is kind of fun, but at the very least, get the email. So I found out in the email
coming
today.
up and stuff like that. Yeah, it's fantastic. I agree. I actually do go through and like look at it every time it shows up.
I mean, you don't have to read the articles, but then every once in a while, some famous race guy died, and they have some random pinup things, and I don't know. It's just a fun conglomeration of. It's Racing Junk is literally what it is. It's pretty awesome. Okay, let's move on. Upcoming races. Guess what race is coming up? Oh my gosh, it's Pitt Race. There are 107 cars, 19 of them BMWs. That's amazing. I think
It's a reasonable
Reason-
ratio.
totally
That's
reasonable.
Reasonable ratio. Now the BMWs are still boring because they're BMWs, but it's a good ratio.
Okay,
Totally.
fine. Yes, we can disseminate it that way. 5 Miatas, 9 Hondas, 3 Porsches, and lots of other good stuff. A 94 Tempo, a 01 Eldorado, an 83 Olds Cutlass. That's amazing. 2 Omnis, 5 Saturns. What? A 2012 Ford Fiesta, and a 2-car Probe Team Daddy's Velvet Love Seat. That's terrifying.
If they have shirts, would you please get me one that's a large?
We will be friends with them. I will give
Yes.
them a Chrissy's Mom's cookies, which are already in my possession, by the way. So come over and say hi because I might give you one.
Even better that it's the cars that they're running are probes.
Because what else would you have?
So
if you-
bad. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
I hope they have a
Yeah.
good theme. Oh, that's good.
I feel like, yeah, just that name in and of itself, you throw on some polyester disco shirts, bam, you're living large. All right. Now we're moving on to listener feedback, and we're going to talk about
we got recent results.
Oh, yes. We don't
Chrissy,
have any.
tell us about our recent results.
Oh, there are none because nobody was racing over Easter except to eat more ham. If that's what you do on Easter. That's what we did. We had an amazing ham on Easter.
Totally.
So, and it was sad because there was plenty of time where I wish we were watching racing or caring about other people race because it was pretty slow weekend with all these things.
And then we got a lot of feedback from Mental. Where was all this feedback from? This initial like,
Where is all this from?
Yes. So the first chunk of stuff that I'm trying to color while we're reading. So, don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. This is, last week, if you were listening, my 914 was delivered literally as we were recording. I ran outside, handed the money, came back in, and he sat in my garage. Thank you, Mikey. Then while I went back out and did the paperwork on this, and where it was delivered, I drove it around the block and parked it, and it immediately marked its territory with a giant oil puddle, which I then tried to craft an artsy photo of because it's already staining my driveway. So, but a lot of people did like looking at the 914.
Oh, okay. So this is all in response.
On the gram. Yes.
Got it. So Fort Kickass said, I had one donated to Cars for Kids. Looking back, I should have kept the drivetrain and built a mega bug.
That sounds amazing. A mechanical
engineer nerd. Engineered.
I almost made a scrapyard Fuji's. Well, at least it doesn't leak water. That's what he said.
Yes. If it starts leaking water, we have problems. Brian McTaggart on McTaggart Official said, quote, could be worse. My Charger left a trans fluid puddle that sure looks like hastily drawn male parts, which I would add seems like something a Charger would actually do while giggling. Oh, Charger.
Brad B said, hey, I know that car.
Tim B titled it #reflections of my decision.
Yes. Our buddy Lepermine pointed out, and Chris and Chrissy know this because they have an English car, that if it's dripping oil, that means it's got oil. Steph called it
oil.
harsh. Yeah.
Doesn't really have it now. And the Fascination was happy to see it back on the street.
Now, before we move on to this next thing, as you know, Jeff, this is Jeff's busy season, so he apologizes for not being here. And I don't go and watch, TV shows with my young teen person. So I sat around here while the video was, compiling and downloading, and I made a video of a 6-second snippet that turned into a 10-minute snippet that turned into an hour-long video that I posted online. I didn't think anybody would see, and I call it Chrissy Doesn't Like TIG Welding. And
is that me making fun of TIG welding?
Yes.
Okay.
And there is a video of that for 1 hour. It goes 1 hour and like 47 seconds that we put on we put on our YouTube channel, and it got almost as many views as last week's episode.
Oh no. I did not know this is a thing.
So Greg O said that the video made his night.
Andrew S called her imitation frighteningly accurate.
I mean, at least I hear it all day. So Tim B said the video is better than listening to most news stations. I did not know this existed. That's funny. Okay.
All right. In other better news, when you see Craigers at CMP, make sure to give him a happy birthday, because 2 days ago, yesterday, April 11th, Craigers turned 50. So 50 punches for him from everyone he sees. That'll work well.
Hugs or something.
Right. 50 hugs.
Let's go with the hugs. Because if you try to punch Craigers,
it's hugs.
A lot of people don't
It's a lot.
know.
It's a lot of
Craigers is-
anything.
It is,
Yep.
but you're not going to connect to Craigers unless Craigers wants you to connect to Craigers.
All right, fine.
Yep. So hey, happy birthday, Craigor. Say hi. when you see him at
Legitimately happy
CMP.
birthday, you young man. Welcome to middle-aged.
Yeah. And while you're at CMP, consider the potluck.
You have to go to the
right.
potluck.
Terminally
Oh my
confused is putting it
gosh.
out again. I mean, eat Kurt's butt. Everyone wants to eat Kurt's butt. Everyone knows it. No one's ashamed of it. It's just going right in the mouth. But you need to make sure you bring something to the potlucks. So what Kurt has said is he wants to have a potato salad competition. So everyone bring potato salad, and there's going to be taste tests and prizes for the winner.
None of that store-bought crap. And you know,
Right.
we do
Or
a lot
lots of
great-
it and figure out which store is better. You could do
That's
that
true.
too.
There's categories.
Yeah.
That's why,
No.
and he's going to be the
Okay.
official taste
All right.
tester for
I
all
like
of
it.
you.
I like it.
Right.
So
Right.
No.
all the potato
That-
salad that you don't bring to any other potluck for the rest of the year, bring
No.
to CMP.
Okay.
Yes. Also, don't do any of that. That is
Don't
all a
do
joke.
that.
Do not
He's
any of that.
kidding.
Bring
Don't.
other things.
Oh, I fell for that one. Good one. Oh,
No, I
You
just
know-
made that up. Kurt just asked me to pimp the potluck, and so I just thought I'd come up with that one. No,
we go
do
to a
not do
lot of
that.
potlucks.
Thank you.
We go to a lot of potlucks, and it's really become just a darn fine Lemons tradition. I would argue that Kurt and Craigers hosting the CMP potluck may very well be the best one on the circuit.
And that's why it all started, I think, is because they showed, look how great this is. Look how
Yeah.
wonderful this is as a community event. And it's thanks to them that we all do it now. So
Yeah, they
thanks,
feed the
guys.
corner workers first. They put a big bucket full of for the Lemons of Love charity. Last year it was funny because everyone that showed up at the potluck went, "Oh, I don't have my wallet." Actually went back and got their wallet and came back and put cash in the donation bin. That was just really funny. And if you've never had Kurt's butt, you are missing out.
Hey, now I think
So-
they have
so
QR
much.
codes for Lemons of Love so that you can say, oh, no excuse.
You,
No,
you probably have a phone, so
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah.
Oh, continuing on the YouTube from our episode from last week, Michael K says, quote, as a team captain, it behooves you to have an extra pair of socks, gloves, and helmet anchors in your gear bag. Helmet anchors are common one. Folks are walking around the paddock, and especially if they're in a arrive and drive. I actually have one set of each Hans, Defender
Oh.
and C-Tech, but he just decided to sell the Hans one at the last race to someone who didn't have the right
That's so
anchors on
nice.
there. Yeah. And
Yeah.
for as much static as we give Mike about that sort of thing, while he's sitting there looking like a crazy person in a bathrobe with a cigar and a, giant tall boy in his hand, his team is actually pretty organized. And so that's good, solid advice if you're going to be a team captain. Socks are
You
cheap.
can look crazy and also be organized. So it's okay.
We
Yeah.
have 1,000 pairs of socks because for a while we have forgotten a pair of socks, and so we just keep
Yep.
getting more. And so
And
we have
if I've ever forgotten my socks and I have to go buy, I buy two. So yeah,
Yeah.
my gear bag has like 9 pairs of socks.
kind of.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
recently I just found my Barco ones with the FA8 with the tags on them to show their Nomex socks. So those are in the toolbox now. So when we
Oh.
go to Gear Tech, we're just going
Which
to
is
grab those
that's
out.
a great
every
idea.
time.
I mean, all of ours are legit. They just don't have
They are.
tags, and so
they are,
yeah.
but we'll keep the one with the tags for Gear Tech. Okay.
And
good.
usually you can tell what they look so different than normal socks. I
They
feel
do.
like most time that socks aren't a big deal. Anyway, Tyler Stank, I'm going to say his last name because it matters to this. He says something I do to keep all my gear in a dedicated plastic bin. That's a very common, I think. I inventory that usually before every race, but before the race and every time the gear comes out for washing. If bin is in the car, I know I have everything. Also, my race gear is permanently stanky. But in case that's a feature, not a bug.
I had a text conversation with him this morning. He's still in advanced infantry training and was number 2 for Soldier of the Month this month. He's doing
Wow.
quite well down there.
First loser.
Oh, stings, man. Oh.
It does. Stinks. Greg O said, hey, when I'm not wearing a cool shirt, I wear a non-certified set of Oakley Nomex firefighting gear, shorts and t-shirt, not long. I always use a multi-layer suit. I don't need Nomex underwear, but at a spring and fall races, I'll wear them for extra protection in place of cotton undergarments. Being uncertified, they were a fraction of the price on closeout.
Those are
We
the
have-
ones
top
Big
tip.
Sexy linked.
We
in our
have the
Slack
long
channel.
ones, but
I
they're
do, yeah.
Yeah, we do too, but they're long and
Yeah, the
heavy,
Oakley
and
Carbon
so
X.
they're not not exciting to wear.
They're good for the wintertime.
They are
They're
wonderful
fine,
for the winter
fine in
time.
the wintertime when
Yes,
it's 97
that's
degrees outside. They're not ideal.
no, because they're
No,
black.
but actual shirts and a t-shirt, shorts and a t-shirt are kind of nice idea.
Mm-hmm.
Who
Mhm.
else likes wearing extra undergarments in the wintertime to stay warm?
Sure. It's weird.
I doesn't like to be cold.
It's
all.
true.
Hi,
Oh,
Chrissy's mom.
Yes. Hi, Mom.
all right. Look at that. We are through everything, and we have rolled up on the reason you've tuned into this. It is the patented, powerful pre-pit, pre-race preview presentation powered by Primanti's.
Except
We're
not going to go
we've-
get a sandwich with fries on it because that means going into the city.
No. There's one actually 2 exits up in that whole
Okay.
shopping center area up there. You can pop in there. So if you're looking for, to get a little Pittsburgh flavor, not go all the way into the city, you can do that one right up
Yep,
the road.
get yourself a Steel City Reserve and a Primanti's sandwich, and Yins can't get much more Pittsburgh. Oh, well. All right, let's talk about all the usual stuff that you need to know. Even if you've been to Pitt before, you probably forgot. If you've never been there, great. Here's what you need to know about the paddock. When do you get there? Well, first off, the road that you're getting to take there. Once you get off the turnpike, you're going along, you pass some stuff, pass the gas station, and then it's going to come up quick. On the left-hand side is the little like back road that goes up to the track. And there's a fairly small sign on the right-hand side of the track that says, "Hey, Pitt Race this way."
It's not that small.
It's,
But if you're doing it in
smaller
the
than I
dark,
expected.
it's white. And so, but you have to look for it. Signs on the right. Yes.
Yep, sign on the right, road on the left. And you feel like, well, I'm just turning into a neighborhood. This is not a racetrack. No, that's the way to the racetrack.
Between two houses.
Yes, and what's very weird is the sign that says Pit Race is actually after the intersection, which is unlike every other place. So you have to, and it's got an arrow and it's pointing. Yeah, so don't fall for that.
It's a little strange, but no, you're in the right place, and eventually you'll be past houses and go up this little windy road up a hill, and that means when you get there. So, when you get there, follow it's simple. The way to get in. It's a long circuitous road, as it usually is in a racetrack, and you're going to come to a shed. There you will find some nice people who need you to sign waivers. So that's always nice. When you get there, though, too, you'll get through you sign your waivers, get through, go find a paddock spot. Chrissy, yes.
Can we talk about the waiver
in the next section?
Sorry.
Thanks. So, you need to figure out where you're going to park.
Thanks.
You can't park in the Black Lake that is immediately to your right once you're by the shed. That is getting used for autocross and other stuff during the weekend. We are not allowed there. Do not park there. Okay. Other places to not park is if you see any red outlined areas. They're usually around the garage, right in the middle of everything. Those are the power spots that people have paid dearly for. Ask me how I know. So don't park in those spots. They have a cone with someone's name on them. Someone paid a lot of money for that spot. That's it. Also over by the karting center, which is to the right as you're coming into on the other side of the Black Lake, there are actual people who are going to be there for karting all weekend. Please don't take their spots because this is their hobby and they need a spot to park for their karting. So where you can park, though, is like go all the way kind of the end. There's a T. You can go to the left. It goes all the way down along the pits. There's a fair amount of room down there. So that is a place you can go. But I will warn you, if you get there anytime after Thursday night, there probably won't be any space down there, and there's no room to turn around. So you end up seeing people backing their tow vehicles and trailers out quite a ways down this road. But anything that's near the north garages is just that's not the karting center, not the Black Lake, is all free for all. There's not a huge amount of room at Pitt, so you can't spread out like you can at NJMP where there's all the room in the world. But there is plenty of room for everyone as long as people don't man spread all over the place. Also, right around the garages, there's the central north, they call them the north garages, right in the middle of everything. Anything on either side of the garage doors is for the people who bought the garages, which are expensive. And anything up on the upper event garages around those, also for the people that have the garages. Please be respectful of that. Cool.
If you do find an open space, take what you need, but don't take it all just because. All right. So one of the things that Pitt Race started doing a number of years, actually they started doing it during Corona and they stuck with it, is they have an electronic track waiver, and that's available. The link to that is on the forums. We'll have a link to that in our show notes. Do this before you get there. It makes your life immensely simpler, because otherwise you're going to have to bring it up on your phone. Chris.
The best way to find it is in the track info, the race info page for this race. On Lemons, not on the forum, but just you go to like schedule Pitt Race race info. On there is a link to the track waiver.
And this is Pitt Race track waiver. I just want to make sure that we're clear on that.
Correct. You're still going to have to sign the Lemons waiver.
Correct. This is not just get through
the poor
faster.
folks. Yeah, the poor folks working at the gate will have to explain to you, well, there's the Lemons waiver, and there's if you ever raced before, you sign like 6 waivers, just suck it up. All right, that's just how it works. All right,
legal.
I do like Pitt doing it online ahead of time. I think it makes it faster. You get there, they check your name off the list, take a picture of you with the iPad, and you're through. Easy.
It is. It really is good. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit and talk about the entrances we just mentioned a few seconds ago. I brought this up on the Google Maps because I have bit off on this so many friggin' times. But if you look at the street view, that is the sign, and it is directly across the road, this little tiny 2-lane road from the one that you take. That's the road onto the track right there. And
wow. This is
Tyndale.
But the sign is like a 4x8 sheet of plywood size. Like,
oh
I
yeah,
guess
it
I was
is.
expecting
It's not
bigger.
big.
No,
it is. But yeah. And you're thinking, oh, well, it's like every other racetrack. Here's a sign. It'll be like the next entrance. No, that's it right there. All right. This race is real. The track there are a few tracks that have really just bonded with the Lemons community, and Pitt Race is one of those tracks. The staff likes us, where everyone there likes the staff. So just don't go there and start being a tool. As Chris mentioned, there are several other communities that'll be functioning there. The drifters will be out there, or they'll be running autocrosses, that kind of stuff. And they're doing their passion. You're doing your passion. Respect that one. Typically they do have a test day on Friday, and they do it kind of, with some classic cars and some very expensive stuff will show up. There was that C3 Corvette from a few years ago that was probably worth more than half the field all put together, and everyone was looking at them like, you are brave. There'll be some hardcore Porsche GT3s out there, that sort of thing. They'll run those groups, and then the Lemons crew will be out there in their run groups, or in the past they've also just done it where, give me your money, go drive. Don't wreck into anything.
Most of the time they're breaking it into Lemons groups and normies. And yeah, I think it's what I recall, it's 5 sessions that you get if you sign up at dedicated specific times.
20-minute. Yeah.
And it's unfortunate.
And they'll have you lined up beforehand. Pay attention, because the track entrance on the testing day is going to be a little different than the track entrance on a Lemons day. Eric and Steve are judging. I don't know who the third judge is. Eric is he respects the whole Pittsburgh area, but he's got to travel back to Chicago, so nothing absurd. Steve doesn't drink and he eats healthy. So, if you want to get on Steve's good side, he will be having a solicitation during the drivers meeting for Lemons of Love in memory of our dear teammate, Aaron. That'll be a great way to get on his good side on that one. And the final thing is, we mentioned that road that goes through the neighborhood. If you've never been, you'd be like, did I take the right turn? You'll be running in and out. There's a gas station down at the bottom of the hill that sells 93 octane. It's easy to get to. They also sell ice. They have actually a pretty decent little cafe inside there.
That's mine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
And the reason I say that is you'll be running in and out of the track a lot. The road to the track goes through someone's neighborhood. It's obvious when it's Lemons. Don't go plowing your tow pig down through there at 70 miles an hour. Dial it down. There's literally like little kids with tricycles and bicycles and that sort of stuff there. And we just don't want to be those people. We'll leave that to the BMW CCA. Let them go all drive like complete tool bags.
Okay. Let's talk facilities now that you're in the track. I don't believe we mentioned the 2 sets of garages. Did we just
We did. We talked about
differentiate?
there's the north garages, which are basically right in the middle of everything. That is where HQ is. That is where the potluck is. That is where we will be.
Aren't they the central garages?
No, they call them north.
Okay.
Believe me, I've talked to Pitt a lot this week.
That's fine.
And
North garages.
That's north.
Great.
The other ones up on the hill are the event center garages.
Yes, that's true. Because they have an event center above them. I will remember that. Good. So now that you know that, both sets of garages, they already have garage spaces attached. People already have those. But now that we're thinking about bathrooms and showers, let's talk about that. So the facilities here are great. Lots of different buildings, lots of bathrooms, and lots of showers to go in. So the north garages have, at least the women's have 2 showers, multiple stalls. It's probably the same for the men. So
Yep, it is.
They have showers and restrooms. The event garages have showers and restrooms. If you go over to karting, so at night, typically there aren't usually too many people around the karting center. They don't seem to stay overnight. You could go karting also. That's a thing. But
we've done
right,
that.
totally.
Great karting track, it really is.
In the karting, it's a little bit smaller, but there's a lot. There's still a good couple stalls. They also have showers there too. So if you go walk in one and it's a popular time, this is an easy place for you to go to. So it's going to be kind of like on your road out. And we are showing a map here, but it's in a row of there's little cart garages, and then at the end of that row there is a small building, and that has restrooms and showers in it as well. There are also restrooms in the what is that called? The main center, the classroom.
The new building.
Oh, I didn't even go there. Hold on, I'm at the classroom. So the classroom is where some of judges will be sitting. It's not judging, so it's HQ. There's going to be people over there. It's a nice place. It's a huge vaulted ceiling classroom. There are restrooms over there. It's also a nice. Yeah, that's what I was actually literally going to say. It's a nice place to duck in if you just want to get out of the sun, because it's going to be pretty warm this weekend. It's very well air conditioned. Okay, there's also a new building, which we've never. I was in because that's where the corner worker meeting was, but I didn't look around.
The store is now too. Actually.
Yeah. So it's that is literally on your way in the door, or in or out, whichever way you're going. And that is a brand new building. So check it out. Only go in places that you're allowed, but I think there might be a restaurant in there too, because it kind of seems like the upper floors has something. So either a classroom session or there might be a restaurant in there. So we'll all investigate that, because I'm not really sure what's there. But anyway, facilities are awesome at this place, especially to some places that we've been. So lots of restrooms, lots of showers. Awesome. Track
the store
food.
Was pretty well equipped when I was in there too. It was better than expected.
Yeah, and it used to be in a little trailer on the far side. So I'm sure it's much better than what it used to be. Track food. So there may be a food truck. There used to be one that kind of lived there-ish. Make no guarantees. Also, there might be this new restaurant. So, but don't rely on track food, I don't think. It's you never know.
If the trailer's still there, the nachos, we'll recommend the nachos from the
and
trailer.
Loaded fries, I think, were also a similar item over there. Yeah. I think it's a barbecue place, and it was very, very good. So if it's still there, definitely go there and get it. But I don't know that it's open every weekend. I would imagine if they know that people will buy stuff, it'll be there. So unknown, but so there's also a potluck. So I know we'll talk about it later, but there's a potluck on Saturday night, right after racing. It's going to be in the north garages. We will set up tables, bring your stuff. I'll tell you where. Make sure it's hot. Make sure you bring a spoon. And if you need help with anything, let me know. If you need a place to cook things, if you need spoons, if you need something, I will be happy to try to help you with that. So I don't want that to deter you from bringing something. Also, no half-eaten pizzas, no open cheese doodles, and no potato salad, please.
Save the potato salad for CMP.
Please. Okay. So what are we looking at here?
This is a Google map satellite view of the Pitt Race complex. So here we see the main building, which I believe
that's the north garages you're pointing at right now, Mental.
Yes.
That's
usually what we do judging and everything.
Correct.
The one with the little red spot on it, that is the timing and scoring building, which has the classroom and whatnot that Chrissy was just talking about. On the far right is the event center garages and event center and bathrooms that are in there.
And there's quite a hill to get up and down there.
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
a little bit more challenging than just a straight walk.
And there's no parking. So go up there and watch the race because it's a great viewpoint to watch the race, but walk.
Yeah, the parking is all taken by people who are in those garages, basically.
Yeah.
Mm.
And even then we're double parked. And so you can also see where where that wording is down. If you go a little south of that, the event, the karting, restrooms and shower location is down.
The green roof.
The green
furthest
roof.
to the right is the bathrooms. The other ones are karting garages where people that leave their carts at the track all the time. And then the south side of this is the new building where the store is and whatnot.
Okay, so stuff around the track. So there is not much around the track. If you need to go out, so this is kind of what Mental was getting at. If you want to get gas, if you want to get anything really, you're gonna have to go out the whole complex down the winding road, turn right, and then you're gonna go back like you're going back towards the highway. If the chances are that's what you came in on, and it's going to be from there on your left. And it is a little gas station. So if you bring your trailer in there, it's going to be a little tight. You probably could get there, but I would not recommend bringing a trailer in there. It's kind of like a, side of the road gas station. It's got, 8 pumps, 10 pumps kind of thing. So, but they do have ice. I believe they also have Keno. Just kidding. That's funny.
Actually,
thanks,
I don't think you're wrong.
I know I'm right. They have Keno. So they have ice, but I believe they do not, unless something would have changed. They don't have alcohol. They shouldn't, because I'm pretty sure that's a state law. So
they might have beer now.
They might, but I'm not sure that they do. So do not assume that they have beer. Also, don't assume that you can get beer anywhere close to there, because I really don't think you can. I don't know where the store is. We always bring our own. So there's not much else around there. There might be one restaurant that might be open down that street, but I'm not sure that it is, so, especially past COVID. So
otherwise you have to go much further south on the other side of the turnpike.
Right.
A town, which is a decent Beaver Falls. It's there. It's
yeah.
Town. There's plenty of stuff there, including the world famous Orum's Donut Shop. So if you're trying to make happy to your teammates, or maybe bribe the judges, get them some Orum's donuts. Those are great.
That's you. Yep. You surprised people with that last year or the year before.
2 years ago. Yeah. Totally.
Okay, so there's not much around. So let's talk fueling. Fueling is in the hot pits. It is far away from most people. If you don't already have a cart, go find one, because it's far.
Don't steal ours. We just made it.
Do not steal ours, but it is about half. I'm going to say halfway, maybe not quite halfway, down the road to the end of where the pits are. So, I'm sorry, I'm not explaining it well.
There's only one ramp to go down to the right toward the pits from the paddock. There's only one, and that's where you go. And
you obviously have to be suited before you go through those gates, but that's where you can fuel. And they have track pumps, yes, right over by karting. So you should be able to, unless something has changed. There is a significant hill. Good notes here. Yes, you're gonna have to go up and down the hill. And like I said, it's far, especially if you're coming from the event garages and need to go to fuel. You should probably have an electric bike or some kind of pit ride plus your cart, because it's going to be far for you to drag it. So that's fuel. Let's talk weather. So if you were there last year, it was pretty miserable. This year is kind of amazing. So Thursday night, when most people are going to be getting there and unloading, it's going to be clear and in the high 50s. Friday, sunny, it's 82. Saturday, partly sunny, 77, 40% chance of rain after 2. So we have to talk about rain at this track. Where the track is located, it's up on top of a hill. It gets pretty windy because the wind kind of picks up over the other tracks and where they have autocrossing. So it gets windy, but there are so many times where we've been standing on the track, and if there's no sun, it is fine weather, and you can see off into the distance that it's pitch black, that is absolutely raining over there. So even if it says it's going to be raining and it might rain. It's going to say like 100% rain. It might not be on the track, or it might be a short time on the track. So don't assume that the rain is always going to rain at the track. On Sunday, cloudy, increasing chance of shower as the day goes on, especially after 2, high of 76, and cooling as the storms come through. So make sure that you bring some rain tires, because you never know. And like I said, potluck on Saturday night, Black Flag Station. We're going to tear that all up and put some tables down. We are bring the food, and Brian, the chef, will be bringing a pig. So we have plenty of pulled pork, and they're looking for a bartender. So if you are a bartender, we might have a job for you. I'm not really sure about that part, but that might have been a thing. So please bring food, not a half-eaten pizza. And
from our theme from last fall, we have some slow gin and blueberry schnapps and Midori. So whoever's bartending, we've got some.
We're bringing the bar too, because I insisted. So yeah,
can't go wrong with
the awesome
gin.
light up bar. That's fantastic.
Yep. Okay. Let's talk track.
Track walk. Let's do this. I will share my screen.
Oh, okay. You've already got it.
Yes, because Mental let me hopefully share my screen, and let's talk through this. Let's go through it all together and say what we recall, what we want to talk about. So really, if all of us talk about it together, is going to be the best. So let's do this. First, how do you get on and off track? That's important.
You might check what you're sharing, because
you're not sharing the right screen.
Oh, great.
Oh, turn by turn.
Let's go to let's try this again. I had this nice window all up. Well, anyway,
I feel like we owe Jeff like a really big apology when he gets back.
Well, when the director takes off, then you can only do what you can do.
We have no directions. We can start here. This is a track map. I don't have like the numbered turns. I don't know if
I can't screen share while you are. So
oh well, then okay.
So thanks.
Is this how you do a podcast? Wow.
I don't know.
You're doing a great job.
My screen sharing is paused. Why is it resume? Come on.
Do it.
I'm pushing the resume button.
It's telling me you started screen sharing.
Now I just stopped again because it said I was already doing it. Great. This is how the sausage is made. It worked fine earlier.
Right? Didn't you share a picture or something?
Yeah. Okay.
There we go. We
Great.
see it.
All right.
Only took you a little while.
I'm sorry. All right.
It's
So
okay.
you get onto the track typically by going to the event center garage side of the timing tower. There's an obvious grid, and there's an obvious upper grid. Usually you go through the grids, and that is how you get onto the track. It's pretty obvious, really. Like, you can't miss it. Getting off track, though, you have to come all the way through the pits, and way down by turn 1, you can turn up and then go drive through the entire paddock, basically, along the pit straight. All right. So should we start at coming down the straight, ready for turn 1, everybody? Does that seem like a good spot?
Down the mountain.
Are you going to talk about pit in?
Absolutely.
We'll talk about pit in as we come around that turn 18, where it is.
I meant pit out. Getting on track with a
okay.
blend line.
Before we get to turn 1, yes. The blend line goes, well, you don't even get onto track until you're through turn 1. And then the blend line stays all the way on the driver's left, all the way through turn 2. This is as it's going over a crest of a blind hill. So mind the blend line, stay to your left and stay to your left until you're well down the straight after 2, because it's a very long straight. You got lots of time to get it together before 3. Do that. If you're coming through on the racing surface, don't cross the blend line. A lot of people like to do it. You totally don't need to. It's not really any faster at all. Set yourself up properly. You don't need to cross the blend line. It might be someone right there. You could ruin someone's day. And usually they start black flagging people for that. So mind the line. All right. So you're coming down the straight before turn 1. This is a downhill straight. You've got some good speed down this, good sight lines. And then you come into the braking zone, and it's downhill, and then it bottoms out and goes uphill, and then crests right about the end of the braking zone as it then crests the hill to go down into turn 1. I find that most of the time braking around the 3 board is adequate so that you can be off of your brakes just as you're turning into 1. But because of the undulations of the hills, you have to watch your brake pressure because you're going to be able to put more brake pressure on the uphill part. And as soon as you crest that right at the 1 board-ish, you're going to lose braking as you go over the hill. But that's okay, because around that time is when you should be turning in and throttling in anyway. Mental.
And check your mirrors as you do that, because you will see people with heavier or high powered cars dive to your inside or dive to your outside, crest that hill under maximum braking, then lock them right up and sail off the track. And you can say to yourselves, why, you didn't listen to the Everyone Racers podcast. Now I've passed you.
It's true. Yep. Also to note here, this is a deceptive corner. You can carry way more speed through this corner than you think you can, because there's no good sight line through it. But there's a lot of runoff from on the outside of 1, especially because toward the end of the track out is where the north track cuts over to the other side. So there's extra room there. So challenge yourself to see how you can carry good speed through 1. And as you come through 1, then once you're tracked out there, you can just easily carry your speed through 2 as you crest the hill, because it's all still to the left. Watch though as you're cresting the hill, because that's around the time a lot of cars need to shift. And if you're not straight as you crest that hill, it is a notable crest and you're going with notable speed. So the car can get a little squirrely depending on your setup as you crest that hill and are shifting. So be careful. You got a long straight before 3. Like, it's the second longest straight on the track by only a couple feet. So, and it's all downhill. Great, get your passing done, get all that done out of the way, check your gauges, because then you're coming into the 3-4 complex, which is going to require some significant hard braking, because this is some of the tighter stuff on the track. Again, I usually found the 3 board is a great place to start braking so that you're off of the brakes as you're turning into 3. Now, 3 is a left-hand corner, 4 is a right-hand corner. Chrissy?
So that's straight. You can fit, and people will go 3 wide, I'd say.
Totally.
Probably not much more than that, but this is definitely a passing zone. So watch who's coming up from you, and there's possible, if there's people that are that are faster, that we're coming down the first straight, you better be making sure that they're going to come by. So you're not only dealing with the slower cars that are just getting on track for the first time, maybe for the first time ever, getting onto track, and then you have the very fast cars, and then it might be you. So there's a lot of speed differential that can happen in this section.
Yep, totally. And then you've got to sort yourself out before 3 and 4, because going 2 and 3 wide around through 3 and 4 is not going to work out well. You really just get everyone sorted out before that, because 3 is a left, 4 is a right. This is all downhill, especially 4, and 4 is off camber. So you're going to give up 3 to do 4 correctly. Mental.
And if you've got to jump on the binders a little hard, or maybe give up a position that you were fighting for, or give up some momentum, don't worry about that. Get sorted going into 3, because you'll have a chance to make that up with what Chris is going to tell you right now.
Thank you. So you're going to give up 3 completely. You are not going to track out at all on 3. You're going to cut it in tight and stay left, and then prepare for a good run through 4. The curbing on the inside of 4 is friendly. You can get 2 wheels on it, no problem. Remember, this is off camber downhill. You have less traction than you think. And on the track out here, there's always there's plenty of dirt on the outside of the curb. I'll put it that way, of people who have turned in too early. So they didn't give up 3 all the way to take 4 correctly. So, because if you do that, you've now got a 600 and something foot straight-ish down the hill where you can get a serious amount of speed, and you can pass people who did not do 3 and 4 correctly here if you do it right. But you do then need to gather yourself up for 5. 5 is the very bottom of the hill, all the way down, and it's the lowest point on the track. And at the bottom of 5, it's a little bowl basically, and you can have a tremendous amount of traction down there, because you're pressing on the wheels of the car as the car bottoms out there. So what I like to do is, after 4, come out to about halfway on the track, and as you're looking toward 5, line yourself up with a little tiny straight stretch before the turn into 5, get your braking done in that area, and then be, you can carry a little bit of brakes into there if you need to, but then turn your head and look up the hill. And as you look up the hill, roll back into the gas, carry it through. 6, you can apex fine. You don't always have to. The car doesn't always work as well if you do. But on the off side of 6, as you're starting to come up the hill, you lose a lot of camber. So watch out. You will lose traction there, and you will easily float off toward the curbing there really quite easily. So be careful on that at 6. And after 6, you're running up a very steep hill. That is, you'll crest the hill and then go back down the other side. But the hill, the first half of the straight between 6 and 7 is really steep. You can't see anything over the other side. So you need to be watching the flag station that is at the crest of the hill straight, because there could be a pile up on their side. You have no idea. Great place for passing. And also, if your car's slow, just hang in there and stay where you are and let the other cars get around you. Mental.
And Chrissy alluded to, we'll talk about the rain, but this is a spot where a lot of cars will lose traction if it's a reduced grip scenario. So just watch that flag station, because they're very good about it, and they will be aggressively waving that flag, not looking at you, looking at what they see that they're trying to warn you about.
Yeah. And the thing about the rain at the bottom of the hill at 5, there is a river when it rains a lot, because it's the low point. So be careful of that at the bottom of the hill. All right. So you've crested the hill between 6 and 7. You're going down the other side. You've got a great view into the S's that are coming up. Get yourself settled. That's great. And then the S's, you've got a right, left, right, left, right as you go through 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And this is where Chrissy came up with her patented copyrighted song.
It's not either of those, but I challenge you to sing it yourself.
What is that song called?
It's the perfect rhythm.
Modulating the gas, modulating the gas, modulating the gas, modulating the gas.
And it works great.
Yeah.
Through this whole section.
That means chances are your car you don't have to brake. You can just modulate the gas. Doesn't work for everybody's car, but
keep the car on the edge, go from one side to the other, make it smooth, carve your turns basically, and stay off. Really, you don't need the brakes for the most part. Just modulate the gas. So turn 7, it's the first right-hander. You can go and brake way later on this than you think, like way later. Also, because you are not tracking out on 7, you are just braking and turning in and hugging the right-hand side for 8. And 8, you'll turn, it's a normal 90-degree corner. Treat it like a normal 90-degree corner. No problem. But then as you come out of 8 and you track out, you've got to immediately get back to the left. So like you're going to continue back to the left after you tracked out to set yourself up for 9. 9 is a little different. 9 is more like a 45-degree corner. It is off camber, and you are not going to track out at all, because you need yourself up for the 10-11 complex. So after the standard 90-degree left at 8, get yourself prepped for 9 to turn right with your apex is your track out. There is no track out there. And as you're coming to 10, you're going to crest a hill just as the start of 10 and look over the hill, top of the hill. Watch for the very end of the candies curbing on the left-hand side. That is your place you're targeting on the inside of 10. And you should be rolling into the gas here. A lot of people, as they crest this hill, float wide and then freak out and then lift, and then the front end catches and they spin and hit the wall on the inside to the left. Like it will happen this time. Mental.
Also, as you're exiting 10, that is another low point on the track. So in the rain, there will be a river there.
Yep. And all right. So now that we talked about the 7, 8, 9, 10, before we get on to the trick of getting through 11, this is a place that you will need to test traction in the rain. There are a lot of patches in this area. And from what I recall, the patches are they more or less grippy? I don't remember. It's a couple of years since I've been in the rain here. But anyway, test out the patches, because there's a notable difference. I think the patches are grippier and you just stay on the patches, but I could be entirely wrong.
One thing that I want to say out loud, because it's really just a message for myself, is to continue to look up. So I have a difficult time looking up, but through this complex, while you're modulating the gas, it is tempting, at least for me, to be looking at the apexes, because truthfully what I do is I check them off. I'm like, yeah, I got this apex, I got this apex, I got this apex. But really it behooves you to look up and be looking at the next. You should be looking at the next corner, and some of them you can, some of you can't. But the further you look ahead, the better you can navigate through these turns, but also with the other cars that you're battling, that are around you, faster, slower, whatever. So I challenge you to modulate the gas, but also with your eyes up.
Mm-hmm. And kind of save if your aggressive passing maneuvers till later. This is not the best time to do it. People are having enough trouble getting through this. So just be mindful of when the right time to pass is through all this, especially if it's wet. Gosh, I wish I could remember which one's which. You will stay on or off the patches. But anyway, you'll figure it out real fast when it's raining. How about that? So you end up having to drive around them. Okay. Back to 10, 11. So you've come through 9. You did not track out. You stayed on the right. You've come through 10. You've crested the hill with a late apex just over the crest of the hill. Now you're looking down the hill toward 11 and then 12. The key to hitting 11 correctly is there is a triangle shaped red and white striped curb between the track you're on and the cutover for north track. Aim to put your 2 right side tires on that triangle. Like, think of it like a pointer cone. Put your tires on that triangle and you're pointing in the right direction for the straight from 11 to 12. You're going to carry a lot of speed that way too, because your late apex through 10, hitting the triangle at 11 just flows really nicely into that little straight before 12. And this is a nice place to get like one pass done for people that did 10, 11 poorly.
Let me, I'm going to just be rude and yank the screen out from underneath you real quick, because this is highly valuable.
I might not ever get it back.
You might not. And I apologize for that in advance, because that's just how it goes.
It's okay.
But this is exactly what Chris is talking about. This is a Google view, and you can see exactly that triangle that he's talking about. And it's legit, because that is like the best. That is,
yeah, right side tires on that, and it all flows. It all works.
What is the, I don't want to keep mixing up the rain, but some of the curbs here, and I'm sorry to cut you off, some of the curbs here are safe. Most of them are. But in the rain,
they all get slippery. They all get slippery.
Okay. So as we're talking about that,
actually,
yes.
I think because of where this track is, I think the actual scientific term is slippy.
You're not wrong. Yes.
I actually think you're right. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Okay. Good. So now I'm trying to share again. Let's see what happens.
Sorry.
Now it gives me this. Your sharing is paused.
I don't know how I did that.
Maybe it's because you stole it.
I'm.
Oh no.
All right, it's all right. Sorry. We can fix this.
Paused.
We can fix. All right. You going to try it one more time, or am I going?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it because I am having apparently a couple of these windows open. So I'm trying to.
Because I have your map up if you
undo
need me
that.
to do it.
Okay, I'll try one more time to pull it back up and a new version and try to share this, and let's see what happens.
Yay!
Yeah,
Yay!
cool.
We got it.
Good.
The link to this track map will be in our show notes. And this is an excellent track map because it has actual feet measurements as well as altitudes.
And radiuses of corners too. Yeah. All right.
Is that what that number is? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right. I learned something.
Yeah. R135. All right. So now we're going to talk about the 12, 13, 14 complex, because these all have to get taken together. Now, of note, these are some very important flag stations in this area you have to watch. There is a flag station out to your left as you're coming up to 12 that is very visible on the straight between 11 and 12. You can't miss it. There is a little flag station on the left of 13. And most importantly, there is a flag station on your right and the inside of 14. That one you have to look at. Absolutely have to look at, because you are cresting a blind hill corner at full throttle. So you must look at that flag station. No questions asked. Okay. So how do you do this set of corners? Well, this is another one of those, you give up some so that you can get the most later. What matters is your run out of 14, because that is leading you down what is essentially almost 2,000 feet of straightaway for a lot of cars. That's huge, and how much speed you carry through 14. So 13 is a completely give up corner, and pretty much so is 12. 12 is the first right. It's a 90-degree right, except you're not going to track all the way out at 12. You're going to track at best halfway out, because 13, your apex is your track out. 13 is only a vehicle to you to get between 12 and 14. It doesn't matter how you get through 13 as long as you're getting into 14 correctly, which means you're going to be all the way on your left as you're prepping to hit the high point of the hill, which is on the straight between 13 and 14, which is pretty short. As you're getting to that high point of the hill, you are rolling onto the gas, gradually rolling on. And as then you're going around the right-hand corner of 14 over the blind hill that you can't see. Also, it's an off-camber corner, so careful. You're going to lose a lot of traction as you come over the crest and down that hill. If it's dry, the curbing on the inside of 14 is very wide and very friendly. You can stick most of the car on the curbing on the inside of 14. I suggest you do. And then as you're doing it, it's going to be very tempting for your eyes to just look at the grass off the next straight on the left. It's just straight ahead of you. Don't do that. You're going to fight. You're going to catch yourself doing it. Right?
It's pretty because they do an excellent job of landscaping there. Yes.
Yeah, they do. You're going to catch yourself doing it and then say, no, don't do that. Look back to your right. Yeah. Look toward where you're going, which is the straight, which is basically 15 is a kink in the straight. So if you've done 14 correctly, you've set yourself up by giving up 13. You've rolled into the gas as you're cresting the hill. You've stayed all the way to the right, went over that curb. You're watching to make sure you're not staring at the grass. Fantastic. You're on this little straight between 14 and 15. You're going to track out after 14, but you need to get back to your right for the left-hand kink of 15. This is also a spot where you're going to have to deal with traffic management and too many people and people not knowing how to get through this kink properly. So look ahead enough to figure out how are you going to fit in with that traffic through this kink. Mental.
Because as Chris said, they'll be braking too much. So take your eyes off the grass and put it onto the traffic, because that's going to allow you to start figuring out who you're going to be able to get past or who might be coming up on you as you do that. So this is a really good spot to start laying out. And as he'll go into the next straightaway, it's a great line of sight coming out of 14 because you're cresting that hill. You can see all the way down the straight, and you can actually start seeing trouble in as far away as turn 16 if you have that level of situational awareness.
Totally. Yep. And I would also say that as you're coming out of 14, heading up to 15, this is the time where you might say, you know what, I'm not going to make it by that guy safely before the kink. I'm going to back off now, pause a bit on that little straight before 15, and then get back on the gas early so that you get a great run out of 15 to pass the person that was going to be in your way through that kink.
And yell more power in your best Jeremy Clarkson voice. As
Please.
Turbo power.
More turbo power. When you were talking about, I mean, this is also on the straight. I'm jumping the gun a little bit. I'm thinking of it. There's a lot of grass in this area. And when Mental said, stop looking at the grass, or whoever said, stop looking at the grass. Also don't watch cars as they're going off the grass, because sometimes you will go with them. There is a lot, if it's wet or has been wet, that grass gets very slippery, and there happens to be walls on both sides. And we have seen cars continue to slide off of this, just either doing something wrong, lifted wrong. Did you do that? Hit a wall? You didn't.
I didn't know. It was going from, I went off in turn 11 in the TR and hit the flag station at turn 12.
Oh, okay. Well, that was not what I was talking about.
But the grass there, if you go off in the wet,
yes,
you will pick up speed.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, or at least you feel like it, at least. So
yes. So it's one of the, and not that you can always stop, but this one has enough runoff. It does. But if it's wet, it becomes an ice skating rink. So watch when you're going down the straight. It's one of those things to think about.
Absolutely. All right. So you got through the kink. Okay. Now you're into the straight between 15 and 16, which is, it's a straight, it's wide, there's lots of room, but you've got another kink coming up, a kink of 16. This is a gentle kink, but it looks pretty rough when you're doing it. Also friendly curbing on the inside. The problem you're going to have is you're going to be doing basically your top speed coming into there. You got to get through the kink and then gather the car back up before a very tight right-hander of 17. So some people are going to need to at least lift before 16. If you're being cautious, a nice lift before 16 is good. Helps settle the car, go through 16 okay, gather it up, brake afterwards. Watch your traffic backing up into 17, because if you're coming up into 16 real hot and then you look and all of a sudden you see everyone stop for 17, you're probably not going to make it, and you're
There's a
probably going to go off
flag
into the
station,
grass.
important
Right.
flag station there too.
Yeah, there's a couple flag stations there along that straight. Watch them, but if you don't have your eyes up, you're not going to make it. If there's no one around, your car is really good grip and it's not the fastest, you can flat through 16. And on the other side of 16, once you've gotten the car to stop cornering and just be gathered up, then you can brake very hard for 17. But it's going to be about you and your car, but eyes up is absolutely critical here. The straight between 16 and 17 too also is a disaster in the wet. It is a low spot there, and everywhere around it the grass is higher than it is on both sides, so water and mud flow onto the track here if it's raining enough. So it's terrible. So that's especially if
It's also
wet,
completely
you're gonna have to
covered in braking of tires. It gets over the weekend, it gets covered in tires. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of rubber there that makes it even slipperier.
Yeah. So watch out. If it's raining enough, you maybe have to do a lot of your braking before 16, because you're not going to have any traction in the mud and stuff on between 16 and 17. Careful. So
It's easy to get debris there too, just from people going off. If somebody doesn't brake, loses brakes. We had this happen last year. Actually, somebody went into the wall that was far away from this. It's far. That wall is far
over, like the
it's
edge of the
far
screen
away
here.
from this part of the track.
But you make it there. I've seen plenty of people make it all the way up there. How'd they keep going that far? Oh, they just do. This is, I think, the most dangerous part of the track, because you've got the highest speeds coming in and you've got a lot to happen in this short period of time. So careful. Then you're coming into 17, which is a very tight, I'm going to say this is 120-degree right-hander. It is mostly off camber at first, and then you get the camber back as you come into turn 18. So in 17, you start off
a little.
Yeah. Yep. Start off track out in the left, come all the way to the inside, kiss the curbing on the inside, but don't go over it because it's a little bit big. It's not going to help you. In fact, if anything, it can kick you out to 18, which is no good. But if you've done that right, you'll kind of flow out into 18, kind of into the middle of the track. You don't need to really track out 18. So then come back into your right, watch the flag station on your right here is a good one that makes sure you can see what's going on the straight, because your visibility to the straight is not good there. This is also where your return to the pits is on your left. So if you're going back to the pits, stay wide on your left on 17 and 18. Stay out of the way so that you can go back into the pits with your fist out right before 19 is where pit in is. If you're not going into the pits, then cut back to your right, and there's a kind of a natural flow that you'll feel between 18 and 19, where you're not forcing it, but the car just flows nicely and hits right to the apex, which is right by the guardrail of 19 for the pit in, and then flow on down the straight.
Slow, no problem.
Yeah. There are some parts of this track that really flow nicely if you get them well. And once you've done
so
it
much,
once, you'll say, yes, that worked. I need to do that again. And the really 3-4 is one spot where the flow happens. The whole S is in the back, but I'm going to say especially the 10-11 flow is key. Also, the 13-14 flow is really important. What else do you guys want to add?
We've been adding
the flagging staff here, because this is a club track. They're really good. I would put them on par. So use them, because they're skilled at keeping you safe. And if you've never been here before, or if you're not comfortable with it, just start noting on those practice days where those flag stations are, or when you're out there for your first couple of laps, and just make it a point of knowing where every one of them are, because they're not going to be watching you. They're This is how you know they're a good team. Their eyes are going to be on the incident that they're trying to warn you about. And there's just a lot of blind hills.
Eyes
Yep.
up.
Yeah,
That's my
eyes up
answer.
is important here. If you've got someone that has a bad time with that, this is a great track to put a piece of tape on your windshield. Really, not kidding.
You're going to have
It'll
a
help
bad time. Okay.
Yep. All right.
Clear tape, not giant, thick gorilla tape. Yeah.
No, I like just a
No.
thin piece of blue masking tape
Thin piece,
across
yes,
the
that
windshield,
works.
so that you don't need to see anything below that. You don't. If you catch yourself looking down there, stop it. Up. I've had such great luck with students just doing vision drills here on this track. Is like they'll drive around and they're fighting it a little bit, and I start giving them specific spots to look that are way ahead of where they're looking. All of a sudden they're hitting the rev limiter and they're going so much faster, and I'm doing nothing but give them places to look. It's
I've done the
hugely
same.
important. Yeah.
With or without people in right seat. I've done the same. There's
Yeah.
corners that I'm just stuck and I go through it in my head, and then I realize I'm just looking at that apex, just looking at it, waiting for it to come over. And then I'm like, oh, now maybe I should look over there. Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, it's a big deal here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good, but
Let's
it's a
have
fun
fun.
track. Yep.
Everyone keep it
It is.
clean, play nice. Let's all have a good time.
Let's have a good time.
Indeed. Wish I
Okay.
could be there. Sorry, I can't. Everyone be
Right.
safe. Have a good time.
We
Yep.
will. We'll take pictures and send them to you.
Absolutely. And if you also wish you could be there, follow us on our social medias. And,
We'll be
yeah.
taking lots, doing
There'll
lots
be,
of things.
there'll be hot tubs and is
No.
No
is
hot
a
tubs.
No hot tubs.
brutal.
Hot tubs comes with
Okay.
Tally, and Tally's not coming. So
Oh, that's right, man.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You got the
is-
boring team this week.
Although
I know.
when I was talking to Pitt Race about garages this week, when I was finally paying, I was talking to the HR director, and she's like, "So you guys are the ones with the hot tub, right?" So
And
basically,
they-
there's an asterisk next
did
to
you-
my name. In
did you
Pitt Race
ask-
records.
Did they ask? Did you say? Is that good or bad? Or is it a
No,
like,
no, I
oh,
did- I
is it
did-
up
I-
or is
I-
it a
I
down?
I laughed and said, "Yes, that's us, but you'll be glad to know it's not coming this time."
Oh, okay.
the
Yep.
guy
She
yelled
laughed.
about you used our hot.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. There's definitely an asterisk next to our name in the Pit Race records.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I guess it could be worse, maybe.
No, they were very nice and very pleasant.
Sure.
To we had to move one of the garages at some point in the week, but they were very nice to deal with. So, no complaints about Pit Race staff. They're all nice people.
All right.
Okay,
All right. What do
ready
you got?
for?
I guess. Just a
Is
tip.
it?
Just a tip.
It's just a tip, or it's hey, nice tip.
Yeah.
That's
Or,
another.
yeah,
way
Hey,
to-
nice
Hey,
tip.
nice tip.
Nice tip.
Nice tip.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. So we talked about a bit about rain lines and what happens to the track when it's going to rain. So it's probably going to rain at some point this weekend. So what can now's the time to deal with prepping for rain. It's not, oh, it's raining. Oh, what are we going to do? No, that's not the time. That's too late. Start thinking about it now. What are you going to do? Do you have wipers?
Especially if you don't have a garage.
Right. Then you're screwed. Well, yeah, bring a tent. Make sure you've got that stuff. Tarps. If you have wipers and do they work? And are the blades like completely rotted and gone, or are they actually going to work and move water? Okay, good. Do you have any kind of lights? Because having at least a working taillight or two in the rain really, really helps people see you. More
Not
than
just a
headlights.
brake
Especially
light,
on
but
this-
an actual tail light.
Oh,
Yeah.
because the
Taillights
spray.
are really good in the rain. The spray is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you do not have a working taillight, I would strongly recommend you have a taillight. Forget the headlights. Not as important. The taillights are better. People coming around you. Your windshield's going to fog up. Everyone says, no, well, I got Rain-X anti-fog. You know what that stuff's worth? Nothing. It does nothing. I don't think anyone's ever been, like 2 people have ever been satisfied with Rain-X anti-fog. It's terrible, right?
It's fine on your street car, but
It doesn't work in
it's-
the race car.
no,
It
it
just does not.
it becomes a paste. It's
Yeah.
useless.
So, but you know what does work? Amazingly so. And we have proven it many times. Barbasol or any-
Barbasol.
Foaming, cheap shaving cream.
Metal
Doesn't make-
can,
Yeah. doesn't make
horrible
any sense.
smelling. Yes.
Wipe that all over the inside of your windshield, clean it off, buff it off. It absolutely helps avoiding the fog. If you have any way to get good air movement over your windshield, like, a defroster, if you have that, have it working, because it totally helps.
How do you know that, Chris?
Because I left it in all our cars now, because after I didn't for so many years and it was terrible, because I have to save weight. This 20 pounds is why we're not going to win. Yeah.
You're not going to win if you can't see.
Nope.
Yeah.
Clear windshield. That's how we're going to win. It's fantastic.
That's how you can drive past everybody. There are also some heating grids you can get. They're like the rear defroster grids that can be applied to the front windows. I know some teams have had great luck with those. So do that. But also consider, if you're not going to be able to do anything for your inside fogging, you're going to need a mechanical means of removing that fog, commonly known as the rag on a stick. And you joke, you laugh, but damn if they don't work. The keys with the rag on a stick, though, is you have to have a place to put it that is not just a puddle on the floor, because putting the rag on a stick in a puddle on the floor negates the purpose of the rag on a stick for your windshield.
And it has to be accessible without you looking. You have to be able to grab the rag on a stick, utilize the rag on a stick, tuck the rag on a stick back in, and make the corner.
Or it's not going to go anywhere. I've definitely been in the boat in New Hampshire at the time where the rag on a stick got away from me in a corner, and I couldn't see well enough to corner hard enough to get it back for a while until eventually I got it just right. And I was just able to grab my rag on a stick back. Then it had been in a puddle and it wasn't as nearly as good.
Or you have a little clip like Uncle Dave has.
Yeah,
they have a little nice
Uncle
little
Dave,
nice
smart.
little
Little
like
spring clips on
right,
the trans tunnel, clips right in. I've seen other teams actually not zip tie, but like tie it with a string to the driver's arm.
Oh,
so
yeah,
go too far, right?
Yeah, I think
like
it was Sorry for Party did that, I think.
Yeah, it's a very thin string. So if there was a real problem, it would break. Like it's not going to trap you or anything, but make sure you always have it. But it totally is important. And if you still have your windshield washers in, fill the tank up, because your windshield's going to get grody. And also Rain-X really is your friend. Put a fresh coat on, and not just the glass cleaner and Rain-X. That stuff doesn't work. Get the hardcore industrial strength
little bottle
that you have to put on,
which they changed the formula a few years ago. So if you've got one like in the back of your parents' garage, the original formula, oh yeah, it's worth its weight in gold. Get that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Even the new stuff works still better than anything else you're going to find around. So just do that too. But now's the time to think. Also bring things like, rain jacket, towels,
galoshes,
tarps.
Yeah. So if you don't have a garage and you don't have one of those cheap $99 effectively weighted down tarps, spend the money now, and then have a couple of those cheap $5 ponchos, because the misery is not while you're getting wet. The misery is an hour later when you're still wet.
Oh, yeah.
And keep that dry set of clothes for your drive home, at the very least. If it's going to rain at the end of the day Sunday, that will be necessary.
Oh, well,
cool.
I feel like we've done a car show to steal from our friends over at Apex Adjacent. Do we have even the foggiest, pun intended, of what we're going to talk about next week?
We totally do. It's going to be the 40% hangover, 80% post-race show, which makes sense if you heard our last year's show about Pitt Race.
Yes.
We'll see what kind of adventures we run into this year.
Oh, and I'm
sure we'll have a story or two.
Yes. I've completely failed to cue up the music, so I'm just going to do this a cappella. Folks, thank you so much for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's Patented Ponte Brothers episode of Everyone Racers. Hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you have enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, do that little like and subscribe button, caress it, hit the notification bell. So next time I find somebody making a funny noise and I repeat it for an hour, you'll know that video is available. If you enjoyed it, do that. Go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. If you didn't enjoy it, go to iTunes, give us a 5-star rating, and then tell us why you hated us. If you have any questions, show ideas, comments, Drop a line on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers. Email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. You can still text me at 484-243-0455. Find us at Instagram, Twitter at everyone.racers, YouTube and Facebook under Everyone Racers, and even Reddit at /E1R. Thanks again. And until next week, keep the shiny side up unless it's covered in coleslaw and French fries and then corned beef hash, and just try and keep the whole sandwich together.